Welcome to Larry's Library, and welcome to a new Top 10 Tuesday. So this is a response video to a couple videos, actually a series of them by some other booktubers. Most notably for me would be Garage Geek and Jeff's Cave of Cool Books. So hats off to them, although I'm going to leave the hat on. Anyway, yeah, I will put links to their videos in this same vein down in the description, so you can check those out. But this is my top 10 favorite book covers. Now, the rules that were already established for this were that you could only have one artist per top 10. So, by that token, if you can't identify the artist for the cover, then you can't use it in the top 10 by those rules. That's the way I interpret it. So, like if you use a Frazetta, which of course everyone's going to use a Frazetta, right? You can only use one Frazetta, so that makes it a lot rougher. Yeah, and I did put a couple more constraints on my own. On my version of this is I can only do non-comic books, because if you follow this channel or you watch my other videos, you know that I have a ton of comic books and graphic novels and collected editions, and I'm disqualifying all of those from this. So this is only top 10 favorite covers of non-comic books. So that's my own restriction there. And now another one of the restrictions on this is it can only be books that I actually own that are in my collection. So that would disqualify books that I've read, from the library or what have you, or that I've sold off. So it has to be something that is still in my collection. So having said all that, we're going to get right into it. So at number 10, I have this nice hardcover Krampus, the Yule Lord. So, and I will put scans of these up because I don't know how well this shows up with the light reflecting on the glossy covers and whatnot. So I'll have scans of this too, so you can get a good look at this art. Now, this is written by Gerald Brom. One second. And he also did the art. There's some art inside a little bit, and this wonderfully over-the-top cover is by the same guy. So this is an over-the-top image for an over-the-top book. It's perfect for this season too. We're coming out of Halloween and going into Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yeah, if you wanna, this would be a good time to read this, just in time for Christmas. It is a creepy horror holiday kind of book. So I loved it, and I recommend it if you haven't read that one. That's number 10. Now at number 9, I have another book that's near and dear to me, and that is The Hobbit. And this is The Hobbit illustrated by the author, hardcover edition. This is by William Morrow HarperCollins, publisher on this. Check out the runes on the side. Look at this. This is just a gorgeous book. Huh? Nice, huh? I love it. Even inside, you take the dust jacket off. You've got the same... Let's try that again. You have the same ornate circular emblem there. Look at the side, and it has a ribbon. This is just a great edition of a great book. One of my favorite books of all time. In fact, one of the few books that I've read more than once. I just love The Hobbit, and I have loved it for so long. Of course, this is J.R.R. Tolkien. Not that anyone who watches this channel would not already know that, but so I think. Pretty sure, I'm about 98% sure that Tolkien himself, let me put this away. I'm making a lot of noise here, aren't I? I'm sure the mic's picking it up. Okay. But Tolkien himself, I believe, drew those mountains in that emblem and the setting sun there. And then the design of the whole thing is by someone named Mike Topping. So, great job overall. And I just think the whole thing is just beautiful. It's a really beautiful, beautiful cover. Look at the little gold dragon there. I mean, it's fantastic. And in my scan, that gold leaf is a little dulled, but you can see it here, right? I mean, it has the shiny and it has the flat. Nice contrasting colors. I love it. Oh, and that is the 2023 edition, if you're looking for that. Don't know if it's still in print in this exact form, but there's a lot of Hobbit books. I'm sure you can find something pretty similar if you look. And I love it. That's why it's number 9. Now, number 8 is a book by George R.R. Martin, a little hardcover novella I have here. And this is The Ice Dragon. And the cover is by Louis Royo. Now, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, correct me down in the comments, please. Never known exactly how to say it. I've looked, and I couldn't find that info anywhere. But love this artist. I've loved his covers and paintings for most of my life. I've seen this guy's stuff. This is probably one of the few times, maybe the only time I can think of, where I've got a Royo piece that is actually not R-rated. He does a lot of nudes, but not here. This one, we've got the little girl who's the protagonist of this one, riding on her ice dragon. Love this book. This was a good, nice little short story, and it's a great cover. At number 7, I have another copy of The Hobbit. Now, this is a paperback. This might be the edition that I read The Hobbit in the very first time I ever read it. This is the 1983 Ballantine Books printing of The Hobbit. I bought this off the shelf new, and I think that may have been the first time I read The Hobbit, possibly, maybe the second. I don't know, but this cover art here is by Darrell K. Sweet. And normally I'm kind of like a Garage Geek in that I prefer full frontal, as he calls it, where the art is the entire cover. And I much prefer that to these inset ones where it's framed. But here I think it works pretty dang well because this beautiful yellow gold cover really contrasts nice with the blue sky, and it matches the gold of the eagle. So, it's a nice design. I like it a lot. But I did manage to find a big version of just that painting. It's called Lord of the Eagles. Again, by Darrell K. Sweet. Check it out. Nice, huh? Yeah, I love it. Even the back cover design's cool. Love this book. Like I said, I have it. I like to collect as many different covers as I can of this, especially when I can find them relatively cheap, so I do pick up other paperbacks when I can. But that's number 7. Now, number 6, I have Conan the Buccaneer. And of course, this cover is by the legendary Frank Frazetta. Check it out. That cover painting is called The Destroyer. And this is a 1971 Ace Books paperback. I did pick this up off the stands, but I was born in '68, so obviously when I found this in a bookstore, local bookstore, I kind of remember it was, I guess, new old stock. It was unsold stock that was years and years old, but I do remember picking it up off the stands as a new book. And this one is written by L. Sprague Camp and Lynn Carter. Not sure the pronunciation of L. Sprague Camp, so let me know if I'm wrong. But yeah, cover art by Frank Frazetta. Yeah, interesting story about this painting is that Frazetta he himself was not satisfied with his work on this one. So he did a second version that he also called The Destroyer. And I managed to dig up a pretty good scan of that. Check this out. Here's the first version, which is on my copy of Buccaneer. And then here's the one he remade to replace it. Really awesome work on both of them, I think. And this is Conan at his finest. I mean, check him out. He is just slaying. He's got the bodies piled up in the foreground. Some are still alive, and they're still fighting to get a shot at him, and it ain't working. In the version I got, he is strangling a guy, and they just keep coming, but he's piling the bodies up. And then in the second version, where he redid it, he's got him swinging a battle axe, and I really love that one, too. I love both of them, I tell you. And from what I've read, some copies of the Buccaneer, later versions of Conan the Buccaneer, have the updated version of the art. So that I would like to have a copy of both, really. That would be cool. I'm sure I could find it somewhere. But yeah, I think I kind of agree with Frazetta here. I like the second version better, but I love both of them. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer, version 1 or version 2. And that's number 6. Now, number 5, I have a book that's near and dear to me. And I know it's near and dear to David, the Garage Geek, too. He loves Dandelion Wine. And I love it, too. I love Ray Bradbury. Check this out. This is a little hardcover version by William Morrow, HarperCollins. Again, same publishers, some of that Hobbit book. And the cover art here is by Tim O'Brien. Now, when I first got this, I wasn't in love with the cover, but the more I look at it, the more I just fall in love with it. I think it's really well done. It reminds me of the book. The book is emotionally charged, and it has this haunting beauty that this cover image does. And I think it has this National Book Award thing, which looks like a sticker, but it's actually not a sticker. It's printed on there, and normally that would bother me, but here, it kind of works because the yellow on that emblem matches the beautiful cursive font they use for the title here, and then that is highlighted in the dandelions themselves. It just the overall composition just works for me. I really like it a lot. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Do you like it? The back cover continues the image behind the books there. I'll put a scan up. You'll see it better. But yeah, I like it a lot. Let me know what you think. And that is number 5, right in the middle. So let's go on to number 4. Number 4, I have got Conan the Freebooter. This is another paperback I picked up off the stands in 1982. This is an Ace paperback from 1982. Cover art is by Boris Vallejo, I believe is the pronunciation. Love that guy, and he did many Conan covers and many fantasy art covers. Very well-known painter, artist. Love the guy's work. This one's written by Robert E. Howard and L. Sprague de Camp. There's that name again. The cover is kind of cheesy. It's kind of cheesecake. You got male and female cheesecake here. And it's kind of cheesy. It's a simple composition. You got the classic evil sorcerers in the back. She summons some kind of demon here. He's materializing. Conan's about to draw his blade. And then you got a girl in the damsel in distress in the kneeling on the ground there. It's kind of cheesy, but I really love it. And on the back, they have it without the title. Unfortunately, the damn barcode covers up much of it, but it's still interesting, and I love this cover. Love this book. I'm a big Robert E. Howard fan, in case you didn't know. Now, number 3 is another Conan book. This is Conan the Flame Knife. Now, this one is same team. It's written by Robert E. Howard and L. Sprague de Camp. This one is, as it says on the cover, lavishly illustrated. And this is illustrated inside by Esteban Morato. Really great artist. Check out this stuff. He is fantastic. And there's plenty of art in here, too. Oh, beautiful black and white work by Esteban Morato. He is a fantastic artist. Anyway, but the cover is not by Morato. The cover is by Manuel San Julian. And he is a fantastic Spanish fantasy painter, artist. Love this guy's stuff. And, this is a pretty simple image, really, but I think it works. The composition works. You have Conan laying down on this dais, back against the stone, and you've got this oddly, ornately festooned giant ape creature attacking him, but I think it's going to be okay because Conan has impaled him on his broadsword. Love this. Yeah, love this image. And it just works so good. That's why it's number 3. And number 2, I have Elric at the End of Time. Of course, this is Michael Moorcock. Love Michael Moorcock stuff. Love the Elric saga. I've read all of the original Elric stuff. This is a Daw paperback that I bought new in 1985 off the stands. And I love this Michael Whelan cover. Some people pronounce it Whalen. But either way, Michael Whelan cover. Love this painting. And if you look at it, I can when I stare at this one, it just reminds me of Elric and everything that happened. And it's the perfect painting for a book called Elric at the End of Time. Because, he's on top of this thing here with columns in the back. And his armor is all torn. His clothing is shredded. He's obviously in some distress, and he's holding on to Stormbringer here, that hellsword that has caused him so much grief. If you haven't read Elric, you really should. It's seriously great. Elric is the original emo guy. Before there was emo, there was Elric. He is the original emo, doom-driven character, and it's a real tragedy. The whole saga is such a tragedy. And damn hell sword brings about most of that tragedy. But anyway, I love this image. I think it's perfect representation of Elric. And yeah, and it, you look at the perspective of it. I don't know if you can see it here in my scan. I hope you can. But it just goes on forever. You can see that it's like he's at the end of time, you know. It's perfect. Love it. But as perfect as this cover is, what is my number one? Well, my number one is something I bet most of you have probably never seen before and probably never heard of. It's not a novel, but it is the Fantasy Almanac. And this is written by Jeff Rovin, unsure of that one. But this cover design, I just love it. This is by Don Mates with a design by Joss Troutween. Troutween? I'll put the names up on the screen because I don't know if I butchered that pronunciation. But yeah, I think it works. And it's weird. This is a 1979 Dutton paperback. It's trade sized. You can see here the difference. And this has been to hell and back. I've read this several times. I've referenced it over the years. And it is an almanac. It's what he's done is he's taken creatures and beings from all kinds of different media, including comic books and television. And he, it's like a glossary. You look it up and it tells you, you know, what their powers were and what their basic story was. It's just, it's fantastic. I love it. I have read this thing, I don't know how many times. I've had it since I was a kid, probably since '79. And it's hopelessly out of print. I would love to have a much better copy of this. It was still intact. I mean, mine is literally falling apart. Look at that. And at some point, years and years ago, I tried to tape the edges to try to secure them. And now the tape is all browned and flaking off, you know. As far to my knowledge, there never was a hardcover of this book. I wish there was. If I could wish a book into being, I would want a hardcover version of this. But let me get back to the cover. This design shouldn't work because you have this Dungeons and Dragons looking deal here, right? But with a digital font for the title. But somehow it still works. And it shouldn't, but it does. It's just, I think it's gorgeous. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, just love this. I love how it has the simulated metal fittings all around it. And even the back cover is awesome. Same artist. I think this Don Mates may have done some Dungeons and Dragons modules, artwork for some of those. I don't know if you've played Dungeons and Dragons. I used to play AD&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but it's been a lifetime ago. You know, I haven't played since probably high school. Yeah. And this art looks very similar to some of the Dungeons and Dragons manuals, some of the modules, and I think this guy may have done some work for some of those. It's really gorgeous. I just love it. I just love this book so much. I will die with this book, okay, even though it's fallen apart. I've tried to find a better copy, and there are some floating around on eBay and whatnot, but like I said, there's no hardcovers that exist for this. So I'd just be buying another softcover version, but maybe one that hasn't been as read as mine has. You know. Anyway, that is my number one favorite cover of all time, non-comic books. I tried to put these in order, and I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, that order could change at any time, but that's how I feel about it right now. Hope you like that. This channel is all about sharing my love of books with other people who maybe love books too. If that's you, please subscribe if you haven't already. And I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time.